Hey everybody, my name is Ashley Dunn and I'm a Senior Executive Sales Leader with Norwex. Today we are going to talk about taking our big, hairy, audacious goals and breaking them down into bite-sized pieces, making them measurable, and then how to create the daily habits that will help us attain those goals. So that's a lot of information to pack into a few minutes here, but I just wanted to share something this morning. My son and I are home sick, and so we were not able to attend church, but we watched online, and something that really struck me from what my husband is a pastor, and he was talking about the book of Esther this morning. But Esther found herself in an incredible place of influence that she had no idea that she was going to have. And she was given the mission to kind of save the people of God. The king was tricked into creating a decree that was going to wipe out the entire people of Israel. And so she was given that opportunity to save them. And instead of saying, I'm too afraid, or instead of saying, it's up to God if he saves them, she said, you know what? God will do what he wants to do, but I'm going to make a plan and I'm going to ask God to bless it. And so she didn't just sit back and say, I have nothing to do with this. I'm just going to let things ride. She created a plan, asked God to bless it, and did it. All right. And so that's what I want you to consider with your Norwex business. And what I'm considering is God has given me this incredible business. It's an influence. It's a huge, don't underestimate the power of the influence that you have in people's life because of this product and because of this business opportunity. Consider that. And then ask God, if you're a Christian, guys, by the way, this has a huge influence on the way that I do my business, as my faith does. And so you'll hear me talk about it from time to time, but ask God to bless your business and to increase your area of influence in people's lives, to do good for them, and then make a plan to accomplish it. Maybe you think your dream and your goal is this, but maybe it's much bigger than you think it is. And maybe you just need to be faithful with the day in and day out plan and habit of doing your business for this big, huge thing that you never thought was possible to happen. All right, so just a little bit of encouragement that way before we get into the meat of the training. So how to break down your goals into bite-sized pieces. Number one, you want to determine, where did we go? Sorry, just looking at my notes. You want to make your goals clear. It's very important. You don't just want to say, I want to be a better leader or a better consultant, but what specifically do you want to be better at? Do you want to be better at onboarding people, creating a leadership culture, helping people achieve their fresh start goals, inspiring leadership from the very beginning, helping people understand what it means and what the benefits are for the people that they are helping and what the benefits are for them. You guys, it's an incredible opportunity that we have. So be prepared to make your goal very clear, okay? Number two, make it measurable and time specific. How are you going to measure if you're achieving that goal? And when are you going to measure that? Yeah, buddy. Okay, mommy will be there in just a minute, okay? I promise. 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. Okay, how are you going to measure that? Are you going to measure it by your Fresh Start Achiever stats? Are you going to measure it by promotions? Are you going to measure it by return customers or your group volume? Look at your personal business summary and your TRM. Those are incredible tools that you have at your fingertips to determine the trajectory of your business and maybe where you need to focus on and set some more goals in, okay? Make your goals winnable. Don't have a huge, far out there goal of, in 1 month's time, I'm going to have $55,000 in sales and achieve the incentive trip. That's probably not going to happen. But what can happen is in 1 month's time, you can create daily habits that will compound on one another and help you create the skills to achieve the incentive trip the next time around. Does that make sense? So make your goals winnable, make them clear, and then by accomplishing them, it actually compounds. So when you achieve a goal, your brain sends like an endorphin shot that creates a foundation that makes it easier next time to achieve your next goal. It's fascinating. There's a book called The Power of Habit that I highly recommend you check out and read, okay? So how do you achieve those goals? Your daily habits. I just talked a little bit about that. But here's the deal. What you do daily will determine what your life looks like in 5, 10, 15 years. You don't get to decide your future. None of us do, right? but you can decide what you do each and every day. Those habits will create your future, right? That is extremely powerful when you think about it. You determine what you do every day, and that determines what your life looks like in 5, 10, 15 years. An intentional habit creation and the chosen mindset, you get to choose your mindset around it, is the key to achieving whatever your goal is. So this is where the work comes in your part, and this is where you have to be afraid to not fail, because by writing things down and creating a plan, you are you're making yourself vulnerable to not achieving that. But I'm telling you what, it's worth it, right? Because you learn when you don't achieve something and you learn when you do. So it's all good. All right, so how to create a habit. There's 3 components of a good habit. Number 1, the cue. I'm sorry, my son is in there. He's watching TV. He's okay. He's got food, drink, everything. So anyways, the cue. This is what signals your brain that it's time to do the routine of your habit. So it can be anything from setting out clothes if you're going to go running, to having your calendar open to what customers you're going to follow up with that day. One of my big, hairy, audacious goals is to have a very multicultural, diverse team. I think the opportunity that Norwex has to offer is too good to be just limited to one type of people that we most often see. And so my dream is to see people that don't look like me all across our team. So what do I need to do? My daily habit, I'm going to start learning a different language. I want to become very fluent in another language. So my daily habit, I have to get up. I do some other things during my quiet time, spend some time learning this language, that kind of thing. But my cue has to be something that gets me going. So it's the alarm clock and it's the smell of coffee. You guys, if I don't have the smell of coffee, it's really hard to get out of bed. So I have to have a cue that is a sensory cue that signals, okay, it's time to do this thing. Now, then there's the routine, what you're wanting to do. Okay, so that's very simple, very straightforward. Whatever you're going to do during that, it's my quiet time, my language study time, that kind of thing. Then number 3, you have to have a reward, whether it's a sticker on a calendar or whether it is a, at the end of a month, if you have so many stickers, you get to go out to eat or you get to go to your favorite, I don't know, whatever it is. You have to have a reward because it cements the habit in your brain. They did a study of a product and they basically put it in people's homes and there was no reward with it associated with it. So the product didn't take off. But once they marketed a reward that comes from using this product, and it was actually a scent, which was a chemical scent, we know, yada, yada, yada. But the fascinating thing is once they associate a reward with using this product, the product flew off the shelves. And that just goes to show you have to have a reward for your brain to cement the habit. Now, okay, I'm good on time. Did you know that creating habits are a different part of the brain than what you're using all the time? So it's not short-term memory, it's not long-term memory, it's actually an autopilot part of the brain. There was a man, in this book it talks about this, a man who lost his short-term memory. He couldn't remember past 30 seconds. And so he was at home most of the time. His wife took him on a daily walk around the neighborhood. And one day she walked into the other room and she came back into the room and her husband was gone. And she was scared because he cannot remember where he goes. Like if he were to, walk down the street and turn right, he would not know where he was because of the 30-second memory thing. And so she freaked out. She called the neighbors, all that kind of stuff. She went out looking for him. She came home. He was right in the chair. And he had gone. They followed him the next day. He had gone on the walk all by himself. It was the habit creation that she did with him every single day that was a totally different part of the brain than the short-term memory. So what that shows is that you're able to create your own willpower, right? You're able to create a habit that actually kind of does it on its own. That's how runners are. They create a habit, and when they don't do it, they miss it. Right? Because their body is so used to it, becomes a part of who they are. And so I just want to encourage you with that by creating habits, you can actually compound them and create more habits and get them into a part of your brain that's almost on autopilot, okay? For some of you need to create a habit around mindset, and I know this has been helpful to me. So create a habit around visualizing good things in your life, like maybe a party going amazingly well, maybe your team growing, maybe you helping someone achieve their first Fresh Start goal and the joy that comes from getting that first box of free stuff. Just setting a mindset around your business. Maybe 15 minutes a day is your habit. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. I hope that you're able to take some of this and walk away with some tools that will make your business better and help you hopefully grow as a person. All right, guys, I hope you have a great month. Talk to you soon.